Join me as I share my journey of moving forward after loss and reflect on how love and life can still thrive even in the toughest moments. Loss is a universal human experience that can touch anyone's life at any moment. For me, it was the sudden passing of my husband that turned my world upside down. Overnight, I found myself navigating a new reality as a widow, trying to make sense of life without the man I have loved for 32 years. In this video, I want to share my personal journey of moving forward after loss and the lessons I've learned along the way about love, life, and resilience. When we lose someone we love, the emotional pain can be overwhelming. It's like being lost in a dark forest with no clear path forward. Society often expects us to get over it or move on quickly, but grief is a complex and messy process that can't be rushed. As a widow, I faced my fair share of expectations from others. It's, well, you're young enough, you'll find someone else. You're strong, you'll get through it. But the truth is, grief is a highly individualized experience, and sometimes what works for other people may not work for another. Additionally, there's the added layer of society expectations around how a widow should grieve. We're often expected to be strong, stoic, and composed, even when our world is crumbling around us. But what about the days when we just want to crawl up in a ball and cry? What about the moments when we feel like we're drowning in our own tears? It's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to say it out loud. One of the biggest challenges I faced as a widow was the feeling of isolation. It was as if I was walking through the crowded market surrounded by people, yet feeling completely alone. Nobody could truly understand what I was going through, and that sense of loneliness was suffocating at times. But as I slowly began to open up to friends and family, I realized that I wasn't alone. There were others who had walked similar paths, and they could offer a listening ear, comforting word, and a helping hand. As I look back on my journey, I realize that the healing is not a linear process. It's messy, a windy road that's full of twists and turns. Some days I felt like I was taking 2 steps forward only to take 3 steps backwards. But the key is to keep moving forward, even if it feels like it's the smallest steps. It's okay. Take one day at a time to focus on survival rather than thriving. One of the most significant lessons I've learned in the importance of self-compassion. As a widow, I often found myself beating myself up over silly things, not being able to cook a meal, not being able to sleep, not being able to get over it quickly enough. But self compassion has been a game changer for me. It's allowed me to be kind to myself, acknowledge my limitations, and to take time and take things one step at a time, to give myself permission to not be perfect, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. Looking back, I realize I've learned more about love and life from my loss than I could have ever imagined. I've learned that love is not limited to a physical presence. It can transcend even death. I learned that the life is precious, fleeting, and worthy of being lived to the fullest. And I've learned that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope. One pivotal moment in my journey came when I realized that I was still in love with my late husband, even after he was gone. It sounds simple, but the profound realization that shifted my perspective eternally. I realized that love wasn't just about the physical presence of another person. It was about the memories, the laughter, the late night conversations, and the quiet moments we shared together. And those things can never be taken away from me. As I reflect on my journey, I want to leave you with a key takeaway. Moving forward after loss is possible. It's not easy, it's not fast, and it's not always linear, but it is possible. And it's not about forgetting the past or erasing the pain. It's about learning to live with it and to find a new sense of purpose and to discover a new way of living. Thanks for joining me, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are some of your experiences with loss, and how have you found a way to move forward? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get the notification bell. I'll see you in my next video where I share tips on finding joy on everyday moments.